Wisconsin Foodie would like to thank the following underwriters for their support. I'm here at Wisconsin's oldest licensed winery, Von Stiehl in Algoma, Wisconsin, to meet its owners, Brad and Aric Schmiling. They're going to show me how they're taking the old and making it new without losing a sense of tradition. We're going to start off in their family vineyards. I'm going to go look for Aric and he's going to give us a tour. Hey, Aric.
Hey, Jessica.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Can I help you with your family's vineyards here?
Absolutely. You came at a great time.
Great. What are you guys doing today?
We're doing a little thinning, getting the grapes a little bit more sun so they can ripen a little bit more evenly. We have Marechal Foch planted, Marquette, as well as some Frontenac. So you can tell by walking through the Marechal Foch, the little bit tighter cluster here being a Marechal Foch.
Okay.
And this little bit longer cluster that's a little bit more open is the Frontenac.
So those are all what we call Wisconsin hybrids.
Yeah, they're all red grapes. You can see they're green now yet, but they haven't come to the point of veraison yet, where they turn from the green to the red.
And you have a degree in enology, right?
Yes, okay. Yeah, from Michigan State. Some of these vines were actually small little cuttings that were started in the greenhouse at Michigan State University and brought back here and planted on the family property. So
this is your parents' property.
Correct.
Originally, was it your grandparents as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, actually great-grandparents.
Great-grandparents,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Whose house is that?
So that's actually my parents' house.
Oh, okay. That's where you grew up?
So that's where Brad and I grew up, yeah.
So you've watched this land grow and evolve, just like the family business has grown and evolved. So could a vineyard like this have so much success anywhere in Wisconsin?
Geographical area does play a role in this vineyard itself, but being that we're half a mile off of Lake Michigan, that does help to kind of moderate our temperatures, because the warmth of Lake Michigan within a half a mile to a mile off the lake keeps this area warmer. So these vines, some of them have been unlucky to the winter and had to be replanted here and there. But for those wines, the Cabernet, the Riesling, the Chardonnay, we have those grown in California. The harsh winters are really the big thing. They can't survive 20 and below. Weather is a challenge. Climate is a challenge in Wisconsin.
This has been great. I'd love to see the grapes in action.
Let's head into the winery and then have a few samples too.
Sounds like a good day to me.
All right, let's go.
Smell the wine.
Yeah, welcome to our production facility.
Thank you. Show me around.
All right, we'll do. So right now we're making about 90,000 gallons a year, just under 40,000 cases, talking about 500,000 bottles or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do my part. I definitely drink some of it.
And we appreciate that, yeah.
Well, can I try a little of the wine in the tank?
Absolutely. So right now, this tank is our satin red. So it's going to be a little cold right now. It just did come out of our cold stabilization tank. This wine, being that it's grown in the Midwest, is very low in tannin. So very fruity, silky.
I'm going to give it a go. That is great for a summer day. Well, are there any wines that go over to the aging cellar?
Yeah, let's go check it out.
All right.
All right, so let's enter our cellars, and we'll be able to see where all of our reds are aged.
Oh, fantastic.
We are in the cellars of Von Stiehl Winery in Algoma. This place has a ton of history. It was built in the 1860s as Anapee Brewery. And it was built for my great-great-great-great-uncle Henry. Fast forward to the 1960s, Dr. Charles Stiehl was making cherry wine in his basement. And At the time, there weren't any wineries in the state. The last one had shut down before Prohibition. So he wrote to the state Department of Revenue and asked them to create the first winery license. So they did that, and they gave him permission to start both producing and selling in the same property. And you know, probably some of the people watching this remember that. Maybe they were here that time. I love the stories from 30, 40, 50 years ago. People coming here on their honeymoon. They have these collectible gauze-wrapped bottles on their shelves that they've had. You know, he really fathered the industry for Wisconsin. Doc Stiehl sold it to Bill and Sandy Schmiling, 1981. I happen to know them well. They're my parents. And my brother and I were 5 and 6 years old. We grew up in the business. A lot like some people would grow up on a family farm, they gave us the chores. I hated it. I hated growing up in a winery. But you know what? Dr. Stiehl and his wife Jackie came to visit us at my parents' home for dinner one night. We were sitting at the table and just making conversation. He said, well, you know, Brad, what's your background? What do you do? And I said, well, I went to school for theater, and after a while, it just really wasn't for me. And explained to him that I was struggling a little bit with the whole working at the winery thing. And he said, well, you know, Brad, working at a winery is a lot like theater. It's romance and putting on a show and entertaining people. And that's when the light bulb went on. That's when I said, well, I can take all the things I learned in theater and I can sort of create a new lens for people to see the business. You know, a lot of wineries don't show what's behind the doors. A lot of wineries just do the tasting room, but as kids that grew up in it, we want you to see it all. So my brother and I grew up in it. Aric took more of an interest in the winemaking side, and I do the daily overseeing of all the business. It isn't quite as clear-cut as you might think. We make a lot of the decisions together.
This is great.
Welcome to our cellars.
Beautiful.
We age all of our dry reds down here. We have roughly 150 barrels down here.
When the wine does come down here and it has this constant temperature and humidity, what happens to the wine?
Magic.
Yeah, magic, right? You do your
Yeah.
magic down here, or you let the magic happen.
We let the magic
rather.
happen. It's, you know, it's about the patience. We're looking at usually a minimum of 16 months up to 3 years for the barrel aging to take place. So let's try a cab.
I love it. So where's this cab from?
The grapes for this were grown in the Sierra foothills of California.
Mm-hmm. And then the wine actually enters into the oak and back out of the oak as time goes on, right? So it's extracting the flavors actually from the oak staves.
Yeah.
Well, I really want to try this.
Yeah, well, cheers.
Cheers. That's a serious wine. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, that is dry to the bone, and it's got still lots of fruit on it. This is really great. Now, I love this. I'm going to finish this, but then I'd also love to try something from Wisconsin.
Yes, so we do have some wines in bottle from the previous vintage, so 2016.
Great. Well, I'll follow you.
All right, let's go.
It's a perfect spot.
Like you said, you can't pick a bad one out here.
No, right? So what do we got here?
So we have 2 reds from the vineyard we were in this afternoon.
Wow, I love it. What are we going to start with, the Marshall Foch or the...
Let's start with the Stony Creek Red.
Okay. And then this is a wine that was also aged in the cellar with some oak.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, you definitely get that dark cherry in it. Yeah. Very dry with lots of dark cherry, but also just great acid. It's going to go great with food. So what do you like to eat with this?
Actually, you know, the classic higher acid, you know, pasta dishes with marinara sauce or something like that. But actually even something on the grill, you know, whether it's pork or venison even.
Fat and acid, those are just like a marriage made in heaven.
Absolutely, yeah.
Marshall Foch, am I saying that right?
Yes.
This is another, what we call hybrid, that is adapted to the Wisconsin cold winters and relatively cold climate.
Correct. Yeah, the Marquette that we just sampled is actually cold hardy down to 35 degrees below Fahrenheit.
More cold hardy than I am.
Right.
I'm not that good at going out in the cold.
The Marshall Foch is, they rate it down to about 20 below.
Wow.
So it's not quite as cold hardy as the Marquette, but the Marquette has the cherry, a little bit of black cherry, but Marcel Foch has more of the plum. We might get a little bit of blueberry, the darker stone fruit aromas.
Definitely. It smells darker, deeper, rounder almost. Very different from the Marquette.
But yeah, more fruit flavor, complexity, but still true to its fruit.
Right, right. Well, this has been a very special day for me, and cheers to you and your family for really taking what's old, embracing it, and then infusing passion to lead Wisconsin wine into the future.
Well, thank you for the compliment, and hope you stop back again.
Can I just stay here all afternoon?
Sure.
All right,
Yeah.
well,
We have 2 bottles of wine.
I'm good for an hour.